Good morning, class 7. Myself, Ranjit Kumar. I welcome you all in the e-learning program of Modern English School, Kunti Nagar, Nevada. This is the fifth video lecture of the chapter to nutrition in plant. In last video, we have discussed about the heterotrophic nutrition, means the non-green plants that do not make their own food and rather depend upon the some other organism for their nutritional requirement is called heterotrophic nutrition. In that we have seen that parasitic mode of nutrition means parasitic plant. In that we have seen Cuscuta is the example of parasitic plant. Next we have discussed saprotrophic nutrition or saprophytic plants. So plants that do not, example fungi, mushroom, molds, these are the example of saprophytic plants. And the organism that do not depend, means do not make their own food, they are non-green and they depend upon dead and decaying organic matter for their nutritional requirement. Are called saprotrophic or saprophytic plants. And the organism or the plant that performs such saprotrophic nutrition are called saprophytes or saprotrophs. One thing I want to clear here, note it down. In somewhere it is sometimes I will say saprotrophic, Trophic, saprotrophic nutrition, or sometime I will say saprophytic, Saprophytic, saprophytic. Both are the same. Saprophytic or saprotrophic, same. Saprotrophs or saprophytes, both are the same. So these are the organism and this is the process. This is the mode of nutrition process and this is the organism. For example, if we are talking about saprophytes, means we are talking about fungi, mushroom, mold, yeast, these we are talking about. Okay. So today we are going to see insectivores or carnivores plant. Insectivores or carnivores plant. This is the third one. One thing I have told in the beginning that heterotrophic nutrition is seen in non-green plants. But one thing I must tell you, this insectivores and carnivores plant, they are green plant. They do perform photosynthesis. They make their own food. But there is a problem. What? First, what is insectivores and carnivores plants? Such plant that eat animal or especially insect is called insectivores or carnivores plant. The area where these insectivores plant is growing, in that area the soil remains deficient in nitrogen. So the area where this insectivores plant are found, in that area the soil is deficient in nitrogen. So to fulfill their nitrogen requirement, they have to look for other sources, and in such source one is eating insect. So as we know, proteins are made up of nitrogen. So when an plant or when any plant eat an insect, they will digest the protein present in the insect and they will absorb nitrogen from that, because nitrogen is the building block of the proteins. Without nitrogen you cannot make protein. So when insectivores plant digest the insect, they will obtain nitrogen from that insect. Okay, so you must keep in mind, insectivores are not non-green plant. They are green, they are generally green plant. They do perform photosynthesis, but due to lack of nitrogen in the soil, they have to opt for, or they have to look for the other sources of nitrogen, and one such source is eating insect. Different type of insectivorous plants are pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, or sundew. These are the example of the insectivorous plant. In your book NCERT you have to discuss about the pitcher plant. What is pitcher plant? Pitcher plant, in pitcher plant the leaf get modified into a pitcher like structure. Pitcher matlab ghada. So the leaf get modified to form a pitcher like structure, and the tip of the pitcher, the tip means the tip of the leaf, it forms the lid of the pitcher. So pitcher ghada, and the tip of the leaf forms the lid of the pitcher. There is a downward pointing hairs in the pitcher, and whenever an insect enter into the pitcher, let lid get closed. When lid get closed, the insect get trapped inside the pitcher, and the digestive enzyme released by the pitcher plant digest the insect. Like this, the pitcher plant obtain their nitrogen or fulfill their nitrogen requirement. So I have made you to understand. Just note some plants. What is insectivorous plants? Plants which eat animals, particularly insects, are called insectivores. Or carnivorous plant. Next point. These plants are usually green and prepare their food. They eat insects because in some areas soil is deficient. Deficient means kami. Deficient in nitrogen. So plants growing in such areas need to obtain nitrogen from other sources. Insectivores trap insects to obtain nitrogen. Okay, so to point here that you have to note insectivores need nitrogen. They are green and they can prepare their food. Okay, wait, ink is over. Okay, example is pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, and sundew plant. These are the three examples of the insectivorous plant. So you have to see about pitcher plant. Pitcher plant. So what is there in the pitcher plant? In a pitcher plant, leaf get modified in pitcher like structure. The tip of leaf forms the lid of pitcher. Okay. Next is inside the pitcher, downward pointing hair is present. When insect enters the pitcher, lid get closed, lid बंद हो जाएगा. और लास्ट पॉइंट, digestive juices secreted means released in the pitcher plant, or in the pitcher means वो जो pitcher है, in the pitcher, digestive juice secreted in the pitcher, comma, digest the insect. So insect is digested in the pitcher plant. So this is the pitcher plant, how pitcher plant is made and how it function. Okay. Next is symbiotic plant. Symbiotic plant. You remember in saprophytic I have told you fungus, about fungi or fungus. I have told about you about this fungi. They are non-green, means they are non-green, and algae they are green. Algae, पानी में जो काई लग जाता है, stagnant water, the green layer formed on the stagnant water is called algae. This algae is an aquatic plant, but this algae is an aquatic plant. This is green in color, so they can perform photosynthesis. But one problem with the algae is that it do not have proper root system. At the same time, fungi is non-green plant and it have well developed root system. So imagine fungi means algae start living on fungi. Algae और fungi दोनों एक साथ रहने लगे. So algae is providing food to fungi. Because fungi is non-green, they cannot perform photosynthesis, so fungi get food which is prepared by the algae. At the same time, algae required minerals, and you know water, minerals, these water and minerals is absorbed by the root, and I have told you algae do not have well developed root system. So fungi will provide algae water, mineral and shelter. So you see in this association or this relation, both are benefited. Fungi is getting food and algae is getting water, mineral and shelter. So such a relation is called symbiotic association or symbiotic relationship. Both are plant. Algae is also plant, but it is a green plant. Fungi is also a plant, but it is a non-green plant. So some drawback in algae is they do not have well developed root system, and fungi they have well developed root system. Some demerit in fungi is that they are non-green, so cannot photosynthesize, and algae is green, so they can perform photosynthesis. So they both are in association. What the point? So this type of relation is called symbiotic relationship, and such plant is called symbiotic plants. What is symbiotic plants? Plants which live in association, मतलब एक साथ, association with other plant and share shelter and nutrients are called symbiotic plants, and such relationship is called symbiotic association. This association between two different plants is called symbiotic association or relationship. Oh, I forgot one thing. This algae and fungi, they are both two different organisms. Algae is green plant and fungi is non-green plant. They are together called lichens. Okay, so they are together called lichens. So I will write here also, but I wanted to see you in that context. So example, lichens. It is the association between algae and fungi. Fungi provide water, mineral and shelter to algae. You will say, sir, what is shelter? You know that any plant hold the ground with the help of their root only. So if algae do not have what you can say root, so how it will hold the ground? So it will need a firm area where it can stay. So this is called shelter. Next is algae. In return provide food to fungi. So one more last point that you all know, if we have came till here, that you know, but I will write one more point, that algae is green plant and fungi is non-green plant. I hope you must means you may be not having any problem in these things, because everything I have explained. If anyone have any problem, you can ask. Okay, no problem. Okay, one last thing what I want to say you, that I would like you to subscribe the channel, because the video link which I am sharing in the group, it will go very up, means during I will share the video by 9 o'clock or 9:10 or 9:15. After that there will be lots of messages, good morning sir, good evening sir, XYZ, different subject, Hindi, English, everything will go like that. So whenever you want to revise a particular video or you want to see a particular video, so at that time you will find it very difficult to find that specific video. So I would like you to subscribe the channel, because once you subscribe the channel, you will always, means whenever you want, you can go to that channel and you will easily find that video and you will see the video, so you can see that video. So I would like you to subscribe the channel, and remaining it depends upon you, your choice. Okay, anyhow, if anyone have any problem, you can ask. Okay.